Cruising Alaska on Norwegian Encore has really been special. During the first half of our trip, we had some big surprises in Seattle that set the tone for our journey to Mount Roberts in Juneau, White Pass Railway in Skagway, and gorgeous cruising with whale spotting throughout Alaska. Of course, we also learned our way around Norwegian Encore and had some great times on board, so if you haven't seen part 1 of our vlog yet, be sure to check that out in the links below. In this half of our vlog, thanks to our friends and partners at Touring Plans Travel, we'll cruise through Glacier Bay National Park to get up close with some awe-inspiring glaciers and wildlife, visit a red light district, and buy some locally made crafts in historic Ketchikan, and absolutely sprint and sing through Victoria, British Columbia with the assistance of some creativity and drinks. We'll also show some clips from a really enjoyable show in Encore's theater, Choir of Man, including a bit where Larissa wanders up on stage to grab a beer.
Good morning from Glacier Bay. We've been sailing through Glacier Bay for several hours and just passing gorgeous mountains, and we saw a whale and there was a seal, but the feature piece is up ahead, and that is the Johns Hopkins Glacier. Beautiful blue ice. There's the wash as we rotate so that everyone gets a view. Interesting, the bird's going nuts. I'm guessing the wash does something to bring up some fish to the surface, or I don't know what. We've come out to the bow. They open up the bow just for certain things, like when you're in Glacier Bay here. It's raining, but not too bad. And the large Johns Hopkins Glacier, I probably showed just a minute bit, is over off our starboard side as we rotate through. When we're right in front of it, this area was packed. We could see it up on the bridge cam. But it's still really pretty here. As you can see, even without the view of the glacier, it's just spectacular out here. And there actually is one of the park rangers. There's several park rangers on board, and they've been kind of giving talks throughout the morning over the PA and on the televisions, stay-room televisions. Though there's a weird thing with music that cuts in on the televisions sometimes. It's a little annoying. So there are several of them in various areas of the ship. In addition to providing the narration, you can go up, ask some questions. And they had a display with some stuff up there in the observation lounge, but we didn't get a chance to check that out. Back in the room, because as they rotate the ship, we now have the glacier off the port side, which is where we are. We continue to rotate around. There's, I think the rain is making it so that there aren't quite as many people out here as you might have expected otherwise. The bow was packed, but it's another reason that a balcony can be really advantageous on an Alaskan sailing, because one, there's so much that you're just passing by that's beautiful as you're sailing, but especially at days like this with Glacier Bay or Hubbard Glacier, anything like that, Tracy Arm Fjord, you want these views, and depending on the weather and depending on the ship, it may be hard to find open deck space. We're pretty lucky here today. We're back on our balcony, sailing back out of Glacier Bay. And Audrey just saw a seal a second ago, so we're on the lookout. Far off in the distance, I'm using a really long zoom right now, but there are some seals. I wish they were closer, but there are seals way over there. There are two seals a little bit closer. I think I actually heard them a second ago. There is another glacier. I don't have the mic on, sorry. We just had lunch in the Food Republic. That's a specialty restaurant, a la carte, and you order off tablets. It's nice, nothing crazy. I actually, funny enough, prefer the similar concept but complimentary with Indulge Food Hall on Prima. Now we're gonna get something sweet, and this is weird. There's this ship, the layout is a little peculiar in that some things are just hidden, kind of like the other night, getting to the teppanyaki place. You have to just kind of know it's there. Watch this. So you go through, and you have the double doors to get outside, or turn to the bake shop, and it's this little tiny place. There's an outdoor window, which is a rather peculiar thing when it's so cold out. We've got some handmade chocolates, cupcakes, and macaroons. And there's ice cream or maybe gelato like in back of me, but that goes to the outside, and it's a little chilly for ice cream.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Good.
Went back to the room for a while and cleaned up, showered, washed my hair with laundry detergent, which is why you should always label your travel containers. And now I'm gonna get some writing done, actually. Well, unfortunately, weather canceled our plans for the Speedway, the go-karts. We're gonna maybe try that again tomorrow after our adventures in Ketchikan. So I've been getting a little bit of writing done, or more writing done, very slowly because there are distractions and friends and drinks. We've just come over to the Sugarcane Mojito Bar because we haven't hung out here yet. That sign, there we go. Knew there was a sign there. So that's where we are now, in front of that cool chandelier in the atrium. And yeah, we'll hang out here. We have dinner at Onda by Scarpetta, which is the specialty Italian restaurant, in a little bit, and that's what we'll be doing for dinner. The jalapeno cucumber margarita, even by my standards, kind of spicy. This is how the sausage is made. For dinner tonight, we are visiting Onda by Scarpetta. I've never done this restaurant on any NCL ship, excuse me. It's a specialty Italian restaurant. Now, with the free at sea package, which most people have, that fare type, you get 2 specialty dining meals. And this one, you get like a starter, a side, and then a main. I ordered 2, and we'll just pay for that extra one. But this bread course is actually fantastic. I just ran to the restroom real quick before our appetizers come, and the ship is really moving again. I think this experience may be cementing my booking of an Edge of Season Alaska cruise every year. I'm not sure. For my starter, I got a tuna, like a raw tuna thing. I don't remember what's on it, but it is impressively good. I got the tagliatelle with lobster, and I went for extra credit by getting the tuna as well. Only 1 entree is included, so I got to pay extra, but I figured, why not? It'll get eaten. I forgot, I also got some carrots. I may have overordered. There were several desserts that sounded good, but I had to try the tiramisu because I do like actual tiramisu, where it's actually layered, actual ladyfingers. We'll see how this is. That was a good meal. I think the best meal I've had on this ship. Yeah, no complaints, except that I'm very full and very tired, and somehow I just lost everyone I was following at once. Sorry, I think everyone just ran into a restroom. Tomorrow we are in Ketchikan at 7:30 in the morning. That is very, very early for me. So yeah, we're gonna try and start the day early because we're only there until 1:30 p.m. So I'm gonna take a little walk off my meal, maybe do some more writing, but I'm not gonna be out late. And then we'll be in Ketchikan tomorrow. I like Ketchikan, it's a quaint little town. What do we have here? This is how I know it's gonna be a good evening for me, at least. Not for others so much. airsick bags strapped to the railing. There's one thing I haven't mentioned so far about planning this trip once we're on board. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about it, and that's the NCL app. So cruise line apps vary. None of them are outstanding. Some of them are pretty good. NCL's has some real shortcomings though. For example, most cruise line apps, there's a hungry now sort of option, right? You want to see what's available to open right now, what dining venues are open right this moment. Well, NCL's doesn't have that. You need to go into the app and click the button that loads a PDF version of the daily printed program. The information's in there, it's just not very elegant and not quite as convenient. On the more logistically challenging side, today we had booked at 7 o'clock the go-karts, the speedway. Now, I completely understand that they're not able to, they can't control the weather and there are safety thresholds. No problem, it was canceled, not a problem at all. There was no way to find out, right? I didn't get anything in the app saying, hey, this is canceled. And in fact, when I tried to call, I couldn't get a hold of anyone. So we just had to go there and find out. Not the end of the world, but things that other cruise line apps have already solved for in pretty elegant ways. The feature that works better than other cruise line apps though, messaging. You do have to pay $10 per voyage per person for messaging. So in my case, I only bought it because, well, I have unlimited internet. Not everyone in my party does. So I purchased it for that reason. That's fine. The notifications work well. It's reliable. You can send picture messages. You can create groups. That part, A+. It's about bedtime after the glow party. There's a lot of people enjoying the glow party, but it's in a pretty small space. In general, like the nightclub space, I feel it's pretty small, but a fun time. And I wanted to come out here and film, and of course now this has stopped, but it's so windy that there's, sorry, water in my eye. There's sea spray coming over. We're on deck, what is this? 7, I think? 8. And there's sea spray that was coming out here. The seas are angry, my friend. Some nice motion in the ocean tonight. Just disembarked in Ketchikan. Sorry about the audio. I forgot my mics. But it's the first port that we are in with another ship. It's Norwegian Sun over one of my shoulders. I don't remember if the video flips or not. And then our ship, Encore, over there. So we're in Ward Mill, and it's this is where you get off the ship if you're on a larger ship. Smaller ships dock in the city. And there's a screen showing what's going on tonight, or today, and the mayor is apparently the sax player that's going to be providing entertainment at 10:45. I've been in line for about maybe 10 minutes, maybe a little longer, I don't know, for the shuttle to downtown. It's definitely nice when you can dock downtown. Someone in line was saying that this is an NCL subsidized facility, so I'm not sure. I'd have to check the schedule, see where different ships dock, but hopefully in just a few minutes we'll be in downtown Ketchikan. They seem to have robbed a Publix. People from the southeast will know what I mean.
Altogether, somewhere right around 10,000
Heading into town.
year round. But the name of
We're off the shuttle, about a 20-minute ride or so. I'm using driver, and we don't have a lot of time in port today, so that's kind of a bummer. Last shuttle back 11:45. We're gonna walk into downtown Ketchikan now, about a 5-minute walk, and probably hit up Creek Street. Cute little harbor, and then behind us is the downtown area. Just walked to Creek Street, and here, right at the bridge, I think there's a salmon ladder just upstream from here. We noticed a seal in the water. There, look, there's the big one, and there's a couple babies over there. One, or was there another? Up at the top of Creek Street, you got this salmon ladder on the right. It's that contraption. And that makes it so that when the salmon swim upstream to spawn, It's hard for them to get up there, so they put that in so they can easily kind of hop up. More active probably in the middle of summer. It's a lovely walk to get here, though. Fresh fish. Behind me is Creek Street. Now this is, when you look up pictures of Ketchikan, probably what you're going to see. All of these structures are on stilts. It's a historic area of town. Buildings from the early 1900s. And there's some interesting features that we'll find at the end of Creek Street. But it's a place really you got to walk around. Well, you know, now a lot of it's just touristy shop stuff, but it is really pretty, and we're getting to watch seals have lunch. So where do you get that? At the end of Creek Street, right behind me, is Dolly's house. Dolly was a famous prostitute, and while there were several brothels in the area, this was her house and location of her business. You can actually tour inside for $10. See the way the house was originally set up with her things still, and they give you a little story behind everything. It's a neat stop, well worth it. Let's take a look.
So in the middle of the night, at the beginning of 1914, she changes her name from Thelma Copeland to Mrs. Dolly Arthur and helps the Steen Queen hiding from the law. Landed in Juneau, Petersburg, Sitka. In November 1914, she landed here. She loved it. She was 5'9", blonde hair, blue eyes. She got her first job at the Star Dance Hall for Miss Mary, which all the girls called her Mama. It's a big pink building around the corner. Back in the day, you danced with the girls, and for money, you went upstairs. And in 1919, when this little house came up for sale for $800, Dolly paid it off within 2 weeks, worked this house all by herself, and decorated exactly like this.
It's the gentleman's room, they called it. That, if I recall, is a pipe or a water heater, something set up to be a urinal down into the creek. Dolly's bedroom.
Dolly said that none of these rules ever bothered her. I didn't go to town very often anyways. I was here to make money.
Right, done at Dolly's house, and walking now away from Creek Street, the old red light district. A lot of little shops in there. Not all of them were closed because we are end of season, but still a few things. I think now we're going to head back, maybe stop in a shop on the way, and go to the Asylum for a quick drink. I'm not a big knick-knack shopper in like touristy shops. However, we did find this place right here. Not a paid sponsorship. Tom's Treasures. A lot of neat things. A lot of handmade things. Stuff certified as being locally made, as well as some regional wares. Really neat. That's, if you want to buy a little knick-knack, definitely stop by Tom's Treasures. Way cooler stuff. I'll try and remember to put in a picture of some of the stuff I bought, but it's already all bubble wrapped. All right, duck farts and the Asylum in Ketchikan again. This is where we're catching the tram back. Long line. They said last tram was 11:45 for Encore. Not too worried. It's like a I feel like it's a tendering situation. As long as you're there by the time the line's not on you. Hundreds of cruises, probably. Don't know. Didn't count. Never missed a ship. A very short time in Ketchikan, but a good one. It's a cute little town. They actually have a sign when you're going back to the ship reminding you it's only a 90-minute flight from Seattle. So if you want to come hang out in a kind of remote Alaskan town, and the population's, I looked it up, 8,700, I think, so larger than I thought. Now we are about to get back on Encore, and I need food in a big way. Back on board, had lunch, making a quick stop. But there are folks out in the pool, and I think some of us are going to get into a hot tub. I don't know if I'm going to get in. Back in the room, which means I have a mic again. Sorry about that. Stopped at the buffet on the way to get some desserts. We've got some sort of berry cheesecake and some sort of, I don't remember, chocolate and walnut cake? I don't recall. Something I've noticed, and they've been doing it for a long time, NCL does actual baked cheesecakes instead of set, and they're delightful. Enjoying a beautiful sail away. We came up to jump in the hot tubs, and it's such a relatively warm day that a lot of people had the same idea. Larissa is feeling very warm. About to enjoy an accidentally very early dinner. Wanted to try out Cagney's, and we came by to see if they had any availability tonight. And they said, what about right now? Because it was probably going to be busy later. So, all right. We have Choir of Man, a show I'm really looking forward to seeing at 10 p.m. So this worked out. I am starting with a crab cake. And check out the view we have, by the way. It's kind of cool. Because they're breaking these. Nope, we're just going to have to look through the curtains. Los Lobos across from there in Cagney's, where we are, look down into the Manhattan dining room through these sheer curtains. It's early and I don't really eat meat, so I had that crab cake, I ate fish, and I had a Caesar, and then we had some sides. But dessert's where things are about to happen, kids. I don't even know what is encased. It's some sort of layered chocolate cake, but it's like they dipped the whole thing, and I don't know. And then raspberry creme brulee. Love raspberries. So update, I told the waiter to bring me whatever he thought was best. I thought he said he was bringing chocolate cake. No, this is a cheesecake. Cheesecake on NCL was really good, man. And this is the best one I've had so far. After a brief nap, we have entered the theater to watch Choir of Man. Excited to actually have people queued up here to go up on the stage, and the performers are actually serving beer. It's kind of unique.
Larissa is actually going up on stage here to get a drink and film things, so that's her phone's view on the right side of your screen.
Out on a very windy deck. I started to record this video in the theater, and they were turning things over or cleaning up, so I got kicked out there. But we waited until the second from the last night to see any shows in the main theater, and Choir of Man did not disappoint. Well worth the wait. Now, if you're not familiar, it's a traveling show. It plays in a number of different places, including Las Vegas, as well as right here on Norwegian Encore. I had seen a version of this, or I saw a teaser on a series that NCL did during the return to service, or just before the return to service, called Embark. And when I saw that, I said, I need to see this on a ship. And I actually booked a Norwegian cruise specifically for that, but that sailing ended up subsequently canceled. So it's been a long time coming, but fantastic show with amazing performers. So it's essentially a vocal group, though there are folks playing instruments as well. And the vocals, that's the highlight, but it's presented as a story that takes place at a neighborhood pub, and the community element of that, and the social element of that. Wonderful, not just engagement, but just the way that they have the audience play into it is really neat. So the set is a bar, and at the beginning, before you go in, they're pouring beer. You just walk up to the stage, and some people are even sitting at tables on the stage, and that's really neat. The performers are hanging out talking because you're just at a neighborhood pub. And then during the performance, there are multiple times that they're calling people up on stage to be a little part of the show, and the way that they're all playing off each other's characters and with the audience is a lot of fun. I really do not miss that. Make sure you get a reservation. There is a standby line if you don't have reservations, but trust me, that show's going to fill up every time, and for good reason. So, man, way to end the evening. I'm just out here on deck, like I said, because partially they were resetting the theater, but it is another rough night here as we steam toward Victoria, British Columbia, our last stop. We're not there until tomorrow evening, so we've got a full day of cruising tomorrow before our last evening. Late start to the day. I woke up with a migraine, which is always super fun. So I only got out of bed a little bit ago, and it's around noon now, especially because we did go 1 hour forward as we left Alaska heading toward Victoria. So in Garden Cafe now getting something to eat. Just heard an announcement, something about being late into Victoria. That's going to be rough because we only had 4 hours scheduled there to begin with. Lunch accomplished. I realize I haven't shown you guys the Garden Cafe area, so we'll walk through here real briefly. They've got, it's not symmetrical. Like there are some repeats, but it's important here to go through both sides because the variety really is actually, I think it's better than many other ships I've been on, in fact. Hey look, an ice sculpture. A parrot that is in some state of melting, but desserts have been good. Everything in the buffet, actually, I think quality-wise, and you know, it's very subjective, I think this buffet has been better in terms of quality than Royal, certainly better than Carnival's buffet. Yeah, I've been happy with it. So gonna head back to the room, do some pre-packing just for maybe 15-20 minutes. We were informed recently that they made an announcement saying that we were going to be getting into Ketchikan late. I don't know how late. Only had 4 hours there, so we'll see what that actually turns into. In the meantime, pre-packing and coffee to offset the migraine meds. I am pretty much all packed. As mentioned, we're getting into Victoria late. In fact, it's probably 4 o'clock or so right now. It's 3:30, and the casino's still open. I think they said they expected to close the casino at 3, so I guess we're still running behind. We tried to do the go-karts again. Right as I went up there, it started raining, so may not be in the cards for this particular sailing. We did it on Prima, and it was a lot of fun. More fun than I thought, so a little disappointed, but that's okay. Gonna go find the rest of the crew and maybe grab a cocktail. I often say that when you're on a new ship, it's unfortunately until right at the end of the cruise before you figure out like where you actually fit, like what is your flow on the ship for what you enjoy. And yeah, everything's different depending on where you are and weather and stuff like that. But today's another example where it's like, man, we really hit our stride, and we get off tomorrow. We might be on the ship again in a month, maybe, I think, probably. But yeah, for now we're just enjoying as we continue sailing toward Victoria, and you can see it in the background here, in fact. Let's see if that focuses. And still don't know exactly when we're going to arrive, but later than expected. I am on the way to a comedy show. I've got like 2 minutes to spare. I got a fraud alert on my main credit card yesterday, and it's not something I recognize. I need to research it further, but I thought, great. Now my charges aren't going to go through on the last day, and if that happens, by the way, you go to get off the ship, you scan your card, and it goes, and they say, sorry, you have to go talk to guest services, you have to wait in line. Big pain. So I just wanted to change my method of payment. It's the last day, so there's a long line, but it wasn't as bad as it was earlier, so now I'm walking into the comedy show, just in the nick of time. Outside again. Is it because I enjoy it? Or is it because I'm being outvoted by those I'm traveling with? It's the second one. It's because of Canadians. I love them, but it's Canadians. Just watched a comedy show in the comedy club. What's the comedy club called? The social club? The social. And yeah, it's also like the nightclub venue, a few things. Kayvon, I don't remember his last name, but Kayvon, he's the comic, and just caught it was like an all ages show. It's always hard to judge comedy shows on ships by the all ages show, to be honest. But it was a nice time, and we're supposed to be in Victoria in an hour. We'll see what happens. For now, I'm going to suffer through it while they enjoy the cool air. Patagonia, Manitoba weirdness. And then we'll see what happens with the rest of the night. We'd hope to have dinner in Victoria tonight. It's 7:40 or so, still on the way. Don't know when we're going to get there, so we're going to head and eating in the Manhattan dining room right now, and we'll see what time we arrive. Here's the menu for tonight. Some of the items change each night. Some of them change. Some of them stay the same, rather.
As the appetizer, so like you can bring it out.
And then you see they have a Cagney section, steakhouse, at an additional charge in the main dining room if you want. Goat cheese vegetable salad and some scallops. Lava cake, lava cake, lava cake. You know, it's kind of cliche on contemporary cruise lines at this point, but I'm okay with it. 9:42 in the evening, and we are finally cleared to go ashore in Victoria. Supposed to be here at 8, but weather and whatever delayed us, so not gonna have long. All aboard, last I heard, was 11:59 p.m. And so we docked right by Fisherman's Wharf, which is about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minute ride to the harbor. We'll see if we can grab an Uber or a cab or something. We'll see what happens. All right, we made it. We just have like 2 hours or something, but we made it. Didn't even wait in the cab line. There was a tour that was heading into the city, and I just paid him to take us into the city because he was right there. So this is down by the Victoria Harbour in the old part of the city, and we're just taking a walk. It's such a lovely place. Wish we had more time. Stopped at J.R. Slim's back there. It was a bar, it was open, and it didn't have a line. Had a couple drinks, and now we're going to just walk along the harbor, and then gotta head back to the ship. Here is Victoria Harbor. You can't really tell right now, but I can tell you during the day, this is one of, and I mean this, one of the 10 most beautiful places I've ever been. Well, that was quick. Jumped in a cab after just walking along, really, the harbor area, and got a sing-along from our resident Canadians, Mario and Audrey.
Flowing hearts we see the right, the trail of strong and free. On far and wonderful Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We are now back to the cruise terminal here at Ogden Point. It's only about a 9 to 12 minute ride. If you're here during normal times, during the day, you can take a water taxi. Now, an Uber is only going to be a couple bucks. I don't know, probably 12 or 15 Canadian. But you can take a water taxi during normal times. You leave Ogden Point, you walk about 10 minutes, if that, over to Fisherman's Wharf, which is a cute little area with some houseboats that have been turned into restaurants and Airbnbs and such. And water taxi, I think, are only about $10 a person, but it's a really novel and beautiful ride, and that'll take you right into Victoria Harbour. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to come back here and spend some time. I like it here. There is Ruby Princess. We're also in port with a seaborne ship, but she's left, so just Ruby Princess and Norwegian Encore, where we're heading back. Last stop, the last night, almost midnight. I should put my bags out. It is that regrettable morning. Disembarkation morning. Here we are in Seattle. And seems a pretty clear morning so far. Gonna get some breakfast and head off the ship. We had breakfast in the Garden Cafe, the buffet area, and it was actually less hectic than a lot of embarkation breakfasts. Waited for our tag to be called, and now we are in line to get off. Doesn't look like too much longer. Been about 7 or 8 minutes, and I can see the facial recognition stuff ahead.
The first time we went to Alaska, I regretted not doing it sooner. This trip, I regretted not having gone back for 8 years. After seeing just some of what we enjoyed on this cruise, you might understand why. There are some things we learned along the way, and we'll keep sharing those learnings and tips on the channel and in articles over at cruisehabit.com, so be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can catch more cruise vlogs and tips. One thing I didn't discuss in these vlogs is that since this trip was farther from our home in Florida, it meant there were more arrangements to make and more risks that things could go wrong compared to a Caribbean cruise, at least for us, based on living there. Now that's something to consider anytime you're booking a cruise, no matter where you're going or how close to home it is, because no one wants to lose money or be inconvenienced. So, to make sure you're protected, check out this video where I discuss the things you absolutely must understand about trip insurance before booking your next cruise. Thanks for watching. We look forward to talking ship with you again real soon.